In a village nestled at the foot of the great Kilimanjaro, where the earth was rich and the baobab trees touched the sky, lived an old woman named Mama Elara. She was known not for wealth or power, but for her quiet wisdom, a wisdom she believed was a gift meant for everyone. The people of her village, however, did not share this view. They believed wisdom was a rare treasure, held only by a few. The strongest warrior, the most successful farmer, the most skilled weaver, they were considered the wise ones. Everyone else felt small in their shadow, believing they had little to offer. This belief created quiet rivalries and a village that, while peaceful, was not truly united. One morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and gold, Mama Elara gathered the villagers in the central square. She held up a large, empty calabash gourd, its surface smooth and polished. "Today," she announced, her voice calm yet carrying across the square, "we will fill this gourd with all the wisdom in our village. I believe that together, our wisdom is vast, like the great savanna. But it is scattered, like seeds in the wind. We must bring it together." A young, strong warrior named Kalo scoffed, "Mama Elara, with all respect, wisdom isn't something you can pour into a gourd. It belongs to those who have earned it through strength and great deeds." He puffed out his chest, proud of his many victories in village competitions. A wealthy farmer, whose yams were the largest and sweetest, nodded in agreement. "My wisdom is in the soil, in knowing when to plant and when to harvest. How can I put that in a gourd?" Mama Elara simply smiled. "Patience, my children. Let us begin." She placed the empty gourd at the base of the largest baobab tree in the square. "The challenge is simple," she said. "Place this gourd high in the branches of this ancient tree. The one who succeeds will prove they hold the greatest wisdom." Kalo was the first to step forward. He was the strongest, after all. He grabbed the smooth, round gourd and tried to climb the massive trunk of the baobab, but its bark was too smooth, its girth too wide. He couldn't get a grip. He tried again and again, his muscles straining, but the gourd kept slipping from his grasp. He tried to throw it, but it was too awkward and heavy to reach the high branches. Defeated and breathing heavily, he stepped back, frustration clouding his face. Next came the farmer, a man named Jengo. He was clever and used to solving problems on his farm. He looked at the tree, at the gourd, and thought for a long time. "I will build a ladder," he declared. He gathered fallen branches and sturdy vines, but the branches were too short, and the vines not strong enough to hold his weight against the giant tree. His ladder was flimsy and collapsed before he was even halfway up. One by one, the villagers tried their own methods. The weaver tried to create a rope net to hoist the gourd, but she couldn't get the rope high enough to start. The storyteller tried to persuade the tree with a beautiful story, but the baobab, of course, remained silent and unmoved. The potters, the hunters, the musicians each tried, and each failed. The sun climbed higher in the sky, and the gourd remained on the ground, a symbol of their individual failures. The villagers grew quiet and discouraged. Finally, a small child, a girl named Zola who had been watching silently from the edge of the crowd, spoke up. Her voice was timid. "Mama Elara, what if Kalo lifts me onto his shoulders?" Kalo looked down at the little girl, surprised. He had barely noticed her. Zola continued, gaining a little more confidence. "And then, Jengo, you could give me a long, sturdy pole from your fence. And Amara," she said, looking at the weaver, "you could tie a loop of your strongest rope at the end of the pole." The villagers stared at her, a flicker of understanding in their eyes. Mama Elara's smile widened. "Go on, child." "I am small and light," Zola said. "If Kalo holds me up, I can reach higher. With the pole, I can reach even higher still. And with the rope loop, I can hook the gourd's handle and place it on a branch." A murmur went through the crowd. It was so simple, yet no one had thought of it. They had all been trying to solve the problem alone, using only their own specific skill. Kalo, humbled, knelt down. "Climb up, little one," he said gently. Zola scrambled onto his powerful shoulders. He stood up, and suddenly she was high above the crowd. Django quickly fetched a long, smooth pole. Elara, the weaver, skillfully tied a secure loop at its end and handed it up to Zola. Standing tall on Kalo's shoulders, Zola carefully guided the pole upwards. She hooked the handle of the calabash gourd with the rope. With the combined strength of Kalo holding her steady, the reach provided by Django's pole, and the security of Elara's knot, she was able to lift the heavy gourd. Carefully, she maneuvered it until it rested securely in the crook of a thick high branch. A cheer erupted from the villagers. It was a sound of pure joy and shared success. They hadn't just placed a gourd in a tree, they had broken down the invisible walls between them. As Kalo gently lowered Zola to the ground, Mama Elara walked back to the center of the square. The gourd was high in the tree, but her eyes were on her people. "You see," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "Today, we have filled our gourd with wisdom. But it is not in the gourd. It is here, among us." She looked at Kalo. "Your strength was needed. Without it, Zola could not have reached." She turned to Django. "Your practical mind provided the tool." She smiled at Elara. "Your skill ensured we would not fail." And finally, she knelt before Zola. "And your fresh eyes, your ability to see how all our strengths could work together, was the key that unlocked the solution." She stood and addressed everyone. "Wisdom is not one thing. It is not only strength, or skill with the earth, or the ability to weave a beautiful cloth. True wisdom," she said, her voice resonating with deep truth, "is knowing that everyone has a gift. It is recognizing the value in each other. It is understanding that when we share our strengths and help each other with our weaknesses, we can achieve things that are impossible to do alone. The strongest warrior cannot climb every tree, but together, we can reach the sky." From that day forward, the village was transformed. The people no longer saw each other as rivals, but as partners. The warrior helped the farmer move heavy stones from his field. The weaver taught the children how to mend their clothes. The storyteller shared tales that taught the lessons of the past. They learned that everyone had a piece of wisdom to contribute, no matter how big or small. And the calabash gourd. It stayed in the branches of the great baobab tree, a constant reminder not of one person's wisdom, but of the day the village learned that true wisdom is a circle, a beautiful, unbreakable bond that connects all people. It is shared, it is humble, and it is found in the simple, powerful act of helping one another. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share it with others so they can learn. We'll see you in the next video.